Hello, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me here live from Las Vegas from SuccessConnect. Trying to stay behind two of the arrangements which SAP has put up here at the Venetian. Spared no expense. Normally these are not painted on whatever the original Italian pictures were. So with no further ado, let's say it was a good event for SAP. I think for the first time they broke over 3,000 participants. It was always in 2000, saying that by memory. Hope that's accurate. Great show floor, more partners there for a reason I'll highlight later. Going onwards, so if you keep listening. So what are the three top key takeaways? Always very, very hard to take. But I think the number one is a new user interface. Finally, SAP has done something across the different SAP portals. I used to joke, always have a bet with the former head of product management, Dimitri Krakowski, now departed, that he could show me three SuccessFactors applications. I could show him four different ways of a save button looking like. So all this has been taken care of it gradually, as announced at the analyst summit, which I refer my blog to. So it's good to see SAP developing things. The UI looks new. It looks like Fiori, is partially like Fiori, and it's across the SuccessFactors products, something customers have been honing on for a long time. That it all looks a little similar, but it's not identical, and that identity is what saves time and money for employees using software. So good to see for SS for doing this. And then, of course, the centers are coming. That was the big news last year. 4 centers announced, 2 more coming now. Everything's becoming a center. All of them focus on specific things. I personally like the release center a lot, which helps customers to familiarize themselves with what's coming in release. It's always a cost, always a problem, always a challenge in SaaS applications. So it's really good for SAP addressing that form part. What will be popular is in the report center, I think, which brings in all the intelligence which usually used to be in menus before together in one place. So an important step on that side. So check out the centers if you're an SAP SuccessFactors customer. Important things happening there. Also announced last year, so good to check in. Third takeaway is on intelligent services. Intelligent services, kind of like workflow-ish like automation. Hope you can still hear me about these announcements blabbering in the background. None of them during my prep time, of course, is live, and we'll see you next year at SuccessConnect. It's saying, well, let's wait for a moment. Hey, it's going to be at the Cosmopolitan. You hear it here live first. So, intelligent services. Interesting, the uptake by customers, more customers using it. There's some interest in that in general because it might help automate things of employee call centers, employee service centers in general. So good to see something basic, innovative, differentiating for SuccessFactors taken up that well. And then last but not least, also announced last year, continuous performance management. I like that there was a de-emphasis on the one-to-one part, which works very well supporting a one-to-one meeting in North America, but one-to-one management is not the way how the rest of the world runs. And Thomas Otter always likes to point out there's lots of best practices which also happen outside of North America, and much of the HR technology space has been focused largely on best practices out of North America. So it's good to see that. It's also good to see the emphasis there and seeing how the longitudinal information and performance management is going to be pulled together, plugged together. So that's a key important aspect of making it work. And like last year, I keep giving SuccessFactors kudos for disrupting themselves. They're the 800-pound gorilla in performance management. That's the DNA of the SuccessFactors company way before SAP acquired them. So good to see that they are looking at new innovative ways, because we all know performance management is broken, and when performance management doesn't really work, the rest of talent management broke, and then, well, where do you go with all your people spent effectiveness anyway? Good to see also one more thing which was announced around bias, an interesting way of people trying to be more proactive in the sense of finding potentially more people, taking the bias out of HR software. The interesting thing, the tangible thing announced, seen here, apart from the Investigate tool, which works in general in the analytics side to look at data in general, can also help you finding bias in the data or partial skewed things or lack of diversity in the data, but also from a pure semantic perspective, being able to go over job posts and figuring out if you explicitly or non-explicitly or by accident skew the job post towards a certain gender, a certain capability, a certain ways potentially. So that's a good thing to see, especially from the aspect, which is one of the president's, Mike Ettling's, favorite things to say: there's no shortage of talent, you just have to fish in the right places. So coming to my overall point of view, good to see SuccessFactors deliver on what they promised a year ago, and also at the analyst summit earlier this year. UIs will be very well accepted by customers. It was about you for SAP to do something on that. The centers are a good step to get more value out of the software, so I can only encourage customers to look at them, work with them. Good connection between SAP and customers. This was the first keynote I've seen where customers pitched new functionality during the rest of the keynote. The attendants voted what functionality we'll see, and I think we'll see some deduplication on candidate profiles as a new promised functionality. So it's a way of new interactivity. Overall, SAP tried to get an unkeynote, different keynote atmosphere there, which I think I give them a B for trying. Not everything of that was so perfect, but hey, it's the first incarnation of that. Definitely a positive note for trying to make not the typical event keynote here. So the question is really on the concern side only. It's good progress, putting things across all the different products. Some of the things under the progress, under the veneer, under the layer are older. It's always good to have proven software. The question is only how long can that software run. A lot of things happening at SAP at the same time. While at this event, SAP announced their first product running on AWS with BW for HANA. We'll write about this later, but that has implications all the way to the SuccessFactors customers because it changes overall SAP's OLAP or big data or analytics or reporting strategy, as you want to call it. So some more clarity will have to come for that, but for now, I think it's good progress on the SuccessFactors side. Customers will like the new UI. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon.